Hello, everyone. Hello. It's your RJ, and welcome to the Bot Signal. For those of you who don't know me, my name is RJ Redden. Entrepreneurs hire me to burn down marketing practices that aren't working for them anymore, aka email. Wink, wink. Because most can't get traction online to save their lives. So I create messaging that helps build relationships and close deals. I do it with Facebook Messenger, and so can you, and that is the point of the show, because I would love to talk to you today about a really specific thing that has been on my mind lately. It is the 3 most common mistakes that beginning bot builders make when they're just starting out with their bots. I actually threw out a little question to my bot about 15 minutes ago about, is fear of making mistakes stopping you from getting your bot built? That I think that a lot of people actually kind of run into that, from what I've, I talk to people all the time about what stage their bots are in. And a lot of people identify that, in fact, fear, of what's going on there in the beginning, fear of investing your time down the wrong path, fear of making a mistake with it, a lot of fear going on for people. And so actually the first thing I'm going to address is not one of the most common mistakes people make, but I'm going to say, let's address the fear itself. How bad is it when you send out a broadcast and a link is wrong? Or how bad is it when you send out a broadcast and you've transposed a couple of numbers on a date? Listen, let me tell you this. I have done both these things. I have done these things on my bots. I've occasionally done these things on client bots as well. And let me tell you that it is a regrettable mistake, but making a mistake in a bot is not the end of the world. Because if you think about how much time I spend building bots, and if you think about the collection of mistakes that I've made over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, building bots, if a single mistake could end you, if you could put out a sequence and it just was blah and didn't really return any results for you, and that was the end, darlings, I wouldn't be sitting here. You know what I'm saying? The fear of getting things wrong, the fear of putting things out there that aren't necessarily working, everything in a bot, and just mark my words on this, please. Everything that you could do can be a learning experience. Everything that you do, whether it's good, whether it's meh, whether it just blows smoke, everything that you do can be used for a better experience with the next bot run. Early use of technology. We're in that early use phase. We're in that phase where, it's a gamble. It's what's going to happen next. There's no rule book. There's no certification program. Well, I suppose there could be if you look hard enough, whatever. But what I'm saying is it's still the Wild West out there, and it's a bit scary sometimes, but please don't let fear stop you. If fear is stopping you right now, ping me somewhere. Let's get a conversation going, because honestly, I've made a lot of mistakes. I wrote a sequence once that had people absolutely snoozing and dropping off after the 3rd question. I've made all of the mistakes that I'm about to outline to you. In fact, I absolutely have. And so, my message is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's okay. It's okay to put some stuff out there, to see how it looks, to see how people react to it, and go ahead and, take the statistics, take the analysis, and adjust. You don't have to stay in that place. I once wrote, and this was a long time ago, but this is when I first started in bots. I was so attention deficit shiny on how many things that they could do that I forgot about the experience that people were having. And what I ended up having was an entrance into my bot that I put the link everywhere. I put the link in all my social media profiles, and I put it in my podcast, and it was everywhere. And people would be taking down this sequence of questions. I think it was about 10 questions. Excuse me. What I was hoping to do from that sequence of 10 questions was very reasonable. I was hoping to tailor their experience for the rest of the chatbot based on those answers when they first came in the bot. Secondary thing was I was hoping to introduce people to what chatbots could do. So I was there in the entranceway of my bot that I had put everywhere on the face of the earth. There I was dancing around, trying to get something together, trying to make something happen where it was a little too early in the relationship to do that. It was a little too early in the relationship to show off a little bit. And I wasn't showing off, how talented I am. I was showing off, oh my God, look at this, you guys. This is what bots could do. This is awesome. No one thought it was awesome. People got bored by the third very long question that I had for them, and people dived right on out of that thing. And one person, and I cannot remember this person's name, but no longer in my bot, obviously, because he ditched right after this. But what he said was, I need a little bit more value in the beginning. And when I first read that comment, I'm talking about, a mistake that I made when I first got into bots. When I first read that, I was like offended. I was like, hey, don't poo-poo me like that. That's not cool. But what he was saying was that it was just not feeling personal. It was just sort of feeling like a quiz, which, hey, give quizzes in your bots. Do it, but tell them it's a quiz, okay? Warn them first. Set the stage a little bit. Hey, I'm going to do this now. This is why I'm doing it. You want to dig into this with me? That's the structure. That's the thing that you want to keep in mind, and the structure that you want to use when you're doing one of these things, when you're pushing something new out there to people. Hey, I'm going to do this thing. This is what I'm expecting out of it. You want to join me and do this thing with me too? Those are the things that people love. People love being asked permission. People love transparency. People love honesty. People hate being taken down a road and not sure why they're there. It's doubly so in Messenger because people are still new to Messenger. You've got some pros out there. You got some people who are, killing it and reading bots 17 a day and all of these things. That's wonderful. That is not the population right now. That is most likely not the people you're trying to reach. So remember this. Messenger, still new and strange to people, but what we want to do is create a good experience. So, without further ado, there's been a lot of ado so far. We've had 8 minutes of ado. So, without further ado, let's get into the 3 most common mistakes that I'm seeing out there. I do this show every once in a while, and usually there are 3 different mistakes that I talk about every time. I want people to know. I want people to know what I'm seeing, because I am that person that reads 17 bots a day. And I am that person that is keeping note of the fact that most people, 90% of people right now that are using bots, I think 90% of the content is, hey, I'm doing a live show right now. And I get it. Man, I did that for a long, long, long time, getting busy and doing stuff and not really paying attention to, okay, there's gotta be an experience here. But I'm the person that is keeping the pulse of, whatever's happening next and what we can have happen. So let me talk about those 3 things, those 3 biggest mistakes. I think the biggest mistake that I'm seeing very beginning builders make, and even if you've been building a while, they get into the software and start constructing something, and they see that, because, a lot of people that are getting into bots right now have seen a bot and went, wow, that's super exciting. I totally want one of my own right now. And they're just so turned on by it that they go, where was this thing made? I've seen people, my clients' bots, people will be like, where did you get this thing? And I'll say ManyChat and leave them a little smiley face, and so, people, they get super excited about it. Some of them jump into the software and go, wow, I've only seen the surface of what you could do. You could also do this. You could do this now. You could also do this. Oh my God, there's so many things you could do. I'm with you. I'm with you in this. I know there are so many beautiful, wonderful things that you can do. I know. But before you build, there are some things that you've got to do. Every house has a foundation, right? Every house has a foundation. You're building somewhere. You're building somewhere for a specific reason. And you want to build things on top of that foundation that are specific things for a specific reason. If you go into the building experience having all of those things in mind, then you're less apt to be distracted by attention deficit ooh shiny. This is hard experience here, because I absolutely had that when I first got in. It was like, woo, you could use this to do this. Woo, you could do this over here. Woo, I hadn't thought of this. I was so busy getting super excited about all of these things that it ended up being like sandcastles in the air. I see some people get totally paralyzed by, they came in wanting to do one thing. They see everything that can be done, and then they don't know which one to pick because they all seem equally important. I get it. It's super cool. I get where you're at if you're in this spot. What I suggest people do, first of all, if you've not gotten to that spot, congratulations. That's wonderful. If you've not yet opened the software to get started with this thing, may I suggest some tools that might already be familiar to you that won't get you off track. The first, and I don't think I have a stack of these anywhere. Hold, please. Oh, I do. Hold on. May I suggest some of these? Post-it notes, typically they're called. That is something that it's a tool that's familiar to everybody that you can use to start thinking out, start sketching out, okay, what are the bare bones of this thing? What do I want it to look like? What do I want that first experience to be? Most of the time, it's like that foundation of a house thing. We're going to go back to that for just a second. What's the main idea here? What is the thing that you want to do? Now, I'm going to have a little break here to talk to you about an idea that I have. I think that I would like to build something that helps people decide what kind of bot run to write first based on what they want. I've been thinking about doing that. If you like that idea, type a 1 in the comments. Do that for me. I'll gauge some interest here and see if people would really, because I know that there's a lot of things to choose from. I know that people are coming from a billion places where they've seen a bot and now they want a bot, or maybe they've seen somebody talk about a bot and now they want a bot. Okay, so many different kinds of bots. There are some really good ones to start with, and there are some really ones that you should not start with. So if you're interested in a little thing that helps you figure out which one would be the best for you to start with, let me know. Okay. End public service announcement. So, talking about that foundation at a house, what is that unique value proposition you want to provide people? What do you want to provide people inside your bot that you can't get anywhere else? You can't get from subscribing to your Facebook posts, blog subscription, that you can't get anywhere else. What is it that you want there? What is the intent and the purpose behind this bot? For most people, when they see a bot, they think about, how many eyeballs can I get? How many new eyeballs can I get to me and to my message and to my products and services with this thing? That's about half probably pick that path. The other path see how it can benefit people who are already paying them, people who are already signed up on the team, taking a course. Maybe they're teaching a course for you. Maybe there's, people who are already have bought off on the products and services and are somewhere on their journey with you after the cash register. So basically, we have before the cash register and after the cash register. People pick one of two ways as their most important path in when they're first building their bots. So which one is more important to you right at this moment? What is the problem in your business that you're attempting to solve through bots? I know that a lot of people are, sick of email marketing and all of those types of things that come along with it, the salesy stuff, all of the things that people do to try to get you to buy a thing. Some people hire me just because they're sick of all that and they want to market differently and they want to put their message in something that's understandable and that is palatable to people and that is the opposite of the salesy douchey stuff. I get it. Which function do you want? Which function should it first serve? And how are you looking to provide that? What environment are you looking to put them in? That type of stuff. I always think about it as the Disneyland experience. And not many people, not everybody has been to Disneyland, so let me explain the Disneyland experience. The Disneyland experience is when you are providing something that is all-inclusive. You are, at every step of the way in the journey, thinking about the problems that people could be having, the questions that people might be having right at that second. And you're also thinking about how much information that you need to give them to get them to a next step. Surprise, spoiler alert, and please listen to me right now. It's not always a huge amount of information that you need to give them to get them to take the next step. Honestly, sometimes it's a sentence. But if it's the sentence of the right information, the information that they're looking for at that moment, then people will proceed to that next step, whatever it is. Maybe it's a next quiz question. Maybe it's a next piece of the choose your own adventure that you've been designing. Maybe, no matter what it is, if you think about the information that people need, the questions that they have, and the potential problems that they could have in getting to that next step, if you do that every step of the way, that is it, my friends. That's the Disneyland experience. Disneyland, they have those watches now where it's your room key and it's where you pay for everything and it is the one-stop shopping convenience. Just you hold your arm out and the thing that you need will happen for you. The signage at Disneyland, they're giving you information in the exact spot where you're having the question or in the exact spot that you need it. And they're only giving you as much as you need to proceed. I am an over-informer. I know. Confession time. I'm totally an over-informer. I want you to know all the details. People will ask me a question in an email, and then an hour later I'm still typing. It's a problem. If for those of you who've taken Jane Power's speaking assessment, I have, and I'm an overloader. I want to give you so much information. I want to empower you with information. Knowledge is power. Yes, it is. But too much knowledge is overwhelming. Too much knowledge makes people's brains spin. So when you're thinking about creating that Disneyland experience, think about what's that nugget. I want you to think in nuggets. Inside the ManyChat Builder and inside the TrueChat Builder, which I've been experimenting with and should be exploring on a later date, there are bubbles, just like that one over my head right there. You build in bubbles. So think about nuggets of information that you can give people. Think about E.T. Who knows that movie? Drew Barrymore when she was like 6. You remember this, anybody? Maybe I'm dating myself. No, I am dating myself. but used to leave the Reese's Pieces trail for E.T. to follow. That you're Reese's Piecesing this thing. This broadcast is in no way sponsored by Reese's Pieces, Nestle, or any fancy Keebler elves. Anyway, moving on. Let me grab the comments. Hey, Brad Friedman. How are you? Hey, Tish. Good to see you. Ed is here. Now we're having a party. Great to see you guys. Great to see you guys today. So before you get to the software, or if you get to the software, you open your computer and you go, it's okay. Break out Post-it notes. Or if you don't like the idea of these cluttering up a blank wall in your house, confession, I totally have a blank wall with all of these planning out bots in my house. You just can't see it right now. Post-it notes are fine. Decision trees and flow charts are good too. Those are a great way to get what is the path, getting that out there on paper for yourself to see. And the cool thing about doing this manually first, if you're willing to do that, the cool thing about doing it manually first is that you don't have to deal with technology to get you back and forth. That you can look at the entire path of something in about 3 seconds and be able to diagnose where in the journey things are great and where things might need some more detail or might need less detail if you're me. You can very, very quickly walk through that in your experience and get focused on what you want to build before you go and find all the shiny tools that they have for you. And trust me, there are a lot of shiny tools. Stacy Spenceley is here. Even though I'm not worried about this because I took your class, RJ. Hey. Thank you for mentioning that, Stacy Spenceley. Of course there's a class. There's a rather big class that I created about a month ago. And it is going strong. It's a class where we just dig into every aspect of it. We dig into every aspect, and there's group coaching, and there's group support, and there's a lot of hand-holding that I designed into this class along the way because, frankly, I think that technology classes that don't offer the support element are not doing you a favor. It is the reason why a lot of classes are gathering digital dust on a shelf. Because I want mine to be different. I want mine to be a truly hand-holding experience where I care about whether you walk out with a bot or not. I do. I want to create a raving fan, and that's my job with this class. So if you're interested in that, let me know, because I would love to tell you about it. In fact, I think next week I'm going to be out of town, but the following week I'm going to have an information session on that class, and I would love to invite you all. It's going to be a thing where we're all on Zoom, and folks can ask questions, and we can workshop a couple things, and I can tell you a little bit about the class, answer any questions you might have. So if you're interested in that, just throw one in the comments for me again, and I will hook you up with the information and, a little place in my bot to register, because where else would you register for one of my classes, right? Stacy Spenceley's raving fan. Fantastic. So, very good, darlings. So, attention deficit shiny. First mistake. How do you fight this? Manually, my friends. Get out of the technology first. I am currently also, because I'm just telling you about all my new stuff, I'm currently also designing a 3-day live event experience where people will walk in with nothing and walk out with a bot at the end of 3 days. And one of the things that we're going to do on the first night is plan our bots without using the computer. Yes. That's true. I'm designing a little activity that people are going to use to be able to design the focus of their bot, to design what kind of experience they want, and actually start putting the messages in place so that the next day when we open our computers and start on the actual software, people will have a guideline to work from. I think it's going to go like gangbusters. Do stay tuned for information about that thing. Anyway, Lindsay Badger is here. Hello, darling. Okay. Second one, second big mistake, just the text, ma'am. Wow, how many times have I seen this? Oof. I understand people's desire to inform. I understand your desire to keep people's attention. In a bot, we don't do that through walls of text. We don't. We can't. No one will stand for it. That's why. I've seen lots of just text bots, and there's a couple of there's a couple of ways that people do this. One is, of course, just copy and paste that wall of text you just wrote in an email and poof it into your bot, and see how it happens. Eek. So what you end up with is something that people physically have to scroll back up to get the first part of it to read. Anytime that your folks need to touch the phone to scroll back up, it creates a little subliminal annoyance factor. We want to have as little of those annoyance factors as possible. We don't wish to annoy. We don't wish to grab hold of our people and squeeze all of the attention out of them that we can. What we wish to do is entice and invite. Entice, hey, I got this thing going on. Do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to go down this trail with me a little further? I'd love to if you'd like to. That's what we want to do inside the bots. So, entice and invite. The text, just the text, the wall of text does neither of those things. The wall of text repels and causes bink annoyance factor. There's another way to do just the text, and that is you can actually break that up more and present. But what you're doing there is you are being an overloader again. Even though there's space between those bubbles, and maybe you've even added a delay in there. Delays are good, everyone. Maybe you've even added a little, breathing room where people see the little 3 dots like someone is typing on the other end. That's good too. But unless you go one step further and you put pictures, videos, GIFs in there as well to break up that wall of text, people are having a lecture experience. They feel like they're being lectured to inside your bot. You just don't want that. You don't want that at any time. Unless they're professional lecturees. People don't like that. Come with me. I've got candy. I have candy for you, Lindsay Badger. Someday we're going to have to just meet up, my friend. I'll have a tiny plastic ninja for you. Very good. Teresa, you didn't get a notification. Well, I've been sending them out differently lately. I've been doing an experiment, Teresa, and I've been sending my notifications as questions. So it's all part of an experiment. I may revert back to the usual soon. Very good. So, just the text is a mistake. What I aim for, honestly, I aim for having an image or a video or a GIF or a place where people can use a reply, like an open-ended question, or a button. That's 5 things right there. I aim to have one of those for every 3 text bubbles. I try to work that much variety into the conversation. So the variety comes through the images, the videos, the GIFs. And I try to work in that much user input into the conversation. And that is the open-ended questions and the button clicks. I try to put enough of that in there so it feels like an experience. So it's not just me telling you, I've got something going on. Do you want to come hang out with me? So that there's more than that. There's interactivity. I'm learning about you. You're learning about, whatever I'm talking about, but I'm also learning about you. I'm learning about your interests. I'm learning about, the things that you want to hear about, which without knowing what you guys want to hear about, shows like this don't exist because it's just me talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. There are tiny plastic ninjas. Oh no. Spenceley, please message me your address. I haven't visited San Diego with my ninjas yet, but San Diego is actually on my list, so we may be meeting up in person sooner rather than later. But text me your address anyway. I'll send you some ninjas. In fact, all of you, just shoot me your address in Messenger. Don't shoot it over here on the comments, but shoot it to me in Messenger if you want some ninjas, because I got them for you. Anyway, Teresa says, yikes, I might be a bit texty. I also found out that I don't have an option that I thought I did. Oh, I know, right? So many things happen when you test those things with other people. The option to respond or ask questions. Sounds like time to retool. Here's what I know about bots, my friend. I'm always retooling. I'm always putting something different out there and experimenting and developing what is the best approach for me and my brand. I teach that approach to other people, but I make it really clear. This is me and my brand. You might have a different way. So that retooling experiment, do not feel like, oh, I made a mistake and I got to go retool. Approach it like this. Your bot is an experiment. It's a work of fine art, my friend. And works of fine arts are never done. At least the artists never feel like they're done. So to me, that's a sign of progress. That's a sign of, look, this was my old thinking. This is how well it did. Wonder how this new idea is going to work out. So, Stacy says, I'm feeling a little betrayed that I didn't know this. I've been handing them out at my speaking engagements. That's why you didn't know that. Because I have not yet embraced you at a speaking engagement, but I'm serious. San Diego is on my list of places to appear soon. Lindsay says, for real? Ninjas are my spirit animal. For reals. I love these little tiny plastic ninjas, and they're my favorite. And people love them. I scatter them on my table, and people come up to them, and they're like, "Can I have one of these?" And I say, "I don't know. They're very precious." And we play a whole little game together. Really? Seriously? $12 for a bag of about 50 on Amazon. But when I hand these to people, it's a big deal. And they have a lot of fun with it, and so do I. People send me pictures sometimes. I'll have to show you guys some pictures of ninjas in the wild is what I'll call that one. All right. Very good. Let me catch up on the questions here. Teresa, I'm trying to send more short broadcasts because I learned so much from my mistakes. When I phrase it this way, it doesn't work. Oh, I know. So here's a stat that you guys might be interested in. When I'm writing, an announcement to go out that is basically, there's whether it's mine or whether it's a client's, I've had a lot of clients go through launches lately. So, it'll be something like, there's a webinar coming up. Well, I'll do a whole little journey to get to the fact that there's a webinar coming up. And so it takes me, time-wise, me who's been working on bots for a long time now, it takes me 45 minutes or an hour sometimes to write those because of how many things are clicking in my head about how much information, what's the word choice, how we, and that's a starting from scratch. That's not starting from a template, but how many, there are a lot of factors in making a good one. I think I did a broadcast on that a while back. Things that you need to make your bot broadcast, things to make your bot broadcast awesome. So, if you wanted a timing and that's someone who works on it all the time. Bots are time consuming, to write. They are, I kind of equate it to video editing. It takes about an hour for a minute of bot run, and that's usual. It used to take me more when I was doing it at the very beginning. So, Very good. Stacy says, or having 3 options for a yes/no question, because if they can't commit 100% to yes or no, they type an answer and break the sequence. I know. So annoying. It's so tough, right? Because it's like, here's someone who wants to interact with me. This is what's happening. If you guys weren't able to put that picture in your head from what Stacy said there, when I'm doing a little Reese's Pieces adventure like that, I'll give 3 answers to click on. I'll give a yes, a no, and a maybe. But sometimes when you just put yes or no, and sometimes even when you put yes, no, maybe, you have people type in their own answers below, when in order to make the bot move, they need to click a button. So that's what Stacy's talking about there. And usually what I'll just do is I'll get into the live chat and I'll see that has opened a conversation, and I'll say, hey, and then, whatever their name is, and I'll say, this is RJ, not the bot. That answer's awesome, and I'll either start a conversation if I feel like that's better road, or I'll say, hey, hit this button above to continue the experience in the bot. So yeah, I have been talking to a company, not ManyChat, about their system and helping design, not design computer wise, but design user experience wise, the experience of using their bot. And I've told them about that one, and they're like, ooh, that is terrible. So yes, that is frustrating. But the workaround is get on live chat and chat with them a little bit. Teresa says, glad that I'm not the only one dealing with this, Stacy. Oh, you're not. You're absolutely not. Lindsay says that should be a thing, ninjas in the wild. Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing. I'm going to have people start taking pictures. Bots for broadcasters, Tish says. Very good. So, Stacy says, my problem is that when I send a sequence, I get like 50 notification in Pages Manager, so it's hard to track sometimes. Oh, there is a little trick to that. And I myself, I don't use Pages Manager all that much. There's one single solitary thing that I use Pages Managers for. And if you're not familiar, Pages Manager is the app on your phone. It is a orange flag is the icon for it. And it manages I don't even know what it does. You know what? There's a reason why you go on the App Store and you go to download that one and the rating on it is a 3-star. It doesn't work very well. I have the notifications on it. Boop! Off. I'm good. I'm good. Because they're way too much. I only go to the Pages Manager if I want to record a little voicemail for somebody inside the bot, which you can also do just right from your computer. But stuff is hard to track when you're getting all that Pages Manager stuff. What I recommend is, I've got live chat going on all the time. Of course I do, right? But there's something you can set in your settings in ManyChat where anything that people type in that is not part of a conversation, anytime people go off the rails, so to speak, it opens a conversation in live chat. So I just check it several times a day, and, that seems to be working for me because you're right, Pages Manager is overwhelming. Oh yeah, you do use your page a lot differently. Oh yeah, you're right. Darn it. Okay. Anyway, back to the topic, everybody. Here we go. So just text, no matter if it's in a huge single wall or even if it's broken up appropriately and even has little delays in it, that's better, but still you are going to want to spice that up. You want to create an experience. You're not there to just, give people information. I mean, information is fine. Information is great. But what are we suffering from nowadays, people? It may be information overload. And the thing that people are starving for is a human connection and a great experience. So the way to give that in your bot is to break up that text for sure. See what's not necessary to include You might be dragging a red pen through a bunch of that stuff. Trust me. And give that stuff. Pretend you're the director of a movie for a second. You get to dictate who's on camera, what the camera angles are. You get to create a whole new beautiful world experience. You are blank canvassing it 360 degrees right now. What kind of experience do you want people to have? Sometimes starting from that point helps. Oh, great. I don't know who's calling me right now, but it's a little annoying. Very good. We're gonna go ahead and shut that off. I think someone accidentally started a video chat with me. Anyway, back to where we are. So, the third common mistake, generic personality. Generic personality is a tough one, people. People don't bond with a generic personality. They don't look for that. They don't, the tough thing about, and this is where I see a lot of people who are designing customer service type bots. The tough thing about that is that it's just the language is so generic, and so, this is what I'm supposed to say in the order that I'm supposed to say it, so I'm doing it this way type of thing. If the personality is very generic because you're afraid to put that in there, let me say that that's where I've had a lot of success in bots, is putting a personality in there, is making something happen that people open it and they see the stuff and they laugh a little bit, or they smile a little bit, or something, creating that experience. You have to have a personality for your bot. One of the things that I just did was I creating a bot, and they've chosen the persona for this bot. The personality is an owl, and this owl's pretty cute, by the way. Well drawn. Got it off of graphicmama.com. Highly recommend those people. I don't get an affiliate thing either. I just want to let everybody know Graphic Mama's where it's at. Anyway, it's this little tiny owl, and from those images and from this different stuff that I put in there, I'm able to craft a personality for the owl, which is close to the personality of their brand. Brands that have personality stand out. They do. They stand out from the sea of generic stuff out there that is just really very boring. You don't want to bore someone in a bot. You don't want to overload them with information. You don't want to bore them. So give your stuff some pizzazz. I've designed bots that are other people's dogs. I've used a client's dog as the persona of his bot. I've used owls. I've used light bulbs. I've used fairies. I have used, my ninja, spinning dragon. There's so many things out there that you can use as a little character. And here's the thing. Give your character a life. I'll give you the example where Jay Fizzette, you guys have all, seen him. He's done some shows with me, here on Black Belt Bot. He's a great guy, and I'm doing his stuff. He has got this dog, and the dog is named Lou. And within Lou, I have got a whole personality going about the dog and what he does when Jay's not home, and the amount of treats that he gets, and the messages that he's bribed to send to people, and sitting by the fire. Sometimes we get those messages too. Lou has got a whole separate life going on, and it's interesting. So, do any of you remember, I don't know if I remember the exact name, so you might have to help me a little bit. But you remember those pets that you kept alive, like on your computer? Or not on your computer, but like on a little keychain. My brain is slipping a gear on the name of those things. But, that kind of a thing where people are constantly like checking in. Let's like checking in on your Sims too. Are the Sims still alive? That type of thing. Those Sims don't have a life, right? Logically, none of this stuff is really happening, but it's so fun to imagine. And people get such a kick out of it They get completely addicted to it. Tamagotchi. Yes. I never personally had one of those. But I'll tell you, that is some people that, it's some crazy stuff. Pokemon Go. Listen, how many people walked into a busy street because of Pokemon Go? It's not really there. But something about firing our imaginations up and creating that space where this might really be happening, or where if it's close to maybe believable that it's happening, makes us happy in a way and lights our imaginations up in a way that normal marketing can't do. Doesn't ever do. So doing this inside your bot, giving that bot a personality, maybe it's your personality, maybe it's not. Maybe you need it to be a brand personality, maybe you need it to be cute little owl. I don't know. Whatever you need, do the personality route. Give your bot a personality. It is something that will help people keep coming back and reading and opening your stuff, even if it doesn't apply to them, because they're excited to see what your owl's doing today. Let me catch up on the comments. Very good. Let's see. RJ's in high demand. It's the truth. Next week I'm going to be out of town, folks. I'm going to be in Phoenix. I'm going to be with Tammy Lane, who, if you haven't met her yet, she's done a couple shows here too. She is my Facebook ads expert. She is the resident expert around here. And, it's an implementation, workshop type thing. We're going to go up, not on Friday night. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm leaving, so there won't be any shows next week. Sorry to report, but I may pop in for some things. But we're going to be doing Facebook ads. I'm going to be learning and speaking up there about Facebook Messenger bots. So yeah, let me see here. Yeah, so I'm going to be gone next week. I'm going to be learning stuff about Facebook ads. I'm going to come back and have some stuff to tell you probably about Facebook ads, because Tammy and I are running some experiments. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that some of y'all come to the one that she's going to do the same thing again in November. So I'll keep you posted on it. Let me see. I had so much fun creating my bot with you because it's so conversational. It's true. Creating a conversation is fun. Being in a real conversation is fun. A good one. You know what I mean? Something that's engaging, something that's inviting, something that lets you have a choice. It's fun, my friends. Just throwing this in there because I was nosy and had to peek. Graphicmama.com. Yeah, folks, if you're looking for an avatar for your stuff, go there. They have 1,000 different things you can choose from. But they also have, you can choose this one, but put your own face on it. You can choose this one and change the color of the suit jacket or, the shoes. So you can either take what they have straight off the shelf, or sometimes you can customize that stuff for relatively cheap. So, I highly recommend those folks. They've done me good. Oh, Gigapet. That's what I was thinking about too. Yeah, Gigapet. God. Anyway. Well, that's been a lot of information. I love doing these shows. If you have an idea about something that you'd like me to talk about, do let me know about it, either in the comments or just throw it in the bot. Spinning Dragon will bring me that information and I will sketch out a show for it. Yeah, love doing the topics that you want to hear about, and love doing topics too that are just a little bit left of center, with something else that you might be dealing with, as you've seen with a couple of the shows that we've been doing lately. Very good. RJ Peeps help. All right. Very good. So much going on in the world of bots. Want you all to prep too mentally, for May, when, I don't know what the days of the Facebook's developer conference is, but that's that yearly thing where they have a whole bunch going on and announce all the different things that are going to be going on in Facebook. You know, I'll be covering that on a show, obviously, but just know that, you know, changes are coming, and we'll be there to embrace them when they do. That's good stuff. Also want to throw out a pitch for something. Next Tuesday, I will be in the process of getting on a plane, I think. But next Tuesday, my friend, a dear friend, Jane Powers, has something going on. And what it is a live stream that she's been working really hard to put together. It's not just like an hour Facebook Live thing. It's something where you actually go up, sign up to attend it, and she has been working on something that I think would benefit all of you. It's this. It's called Code to Close. And what it is a way to, if you are, you know, all of us are interested in making sales at one point or another. I'm interested in making sales without being sleazy. I'm interested in that. I want to be honest, straightforward, transparent. I want to actually help people with what I do. I'm not just interested in amassing $1 million. Hey, I won't say no if it shows up, but I'm not going to be a sleazy person to get it. And Jane has developed a way to be able to read people to a point that you're just basically speaking their language. And it's a sales technique that really works, that really helps people get to what they need. And it's a sales technique that has been proven because she has been proving it for many years now. And I think it's flippin' fascinating. She's gonna spend quite a bit of time talking about that. I know she's been prepping behind the scenes, and I'm really, really excited. I'm going. If you guys want to go, I would love to see you there. So I'm gonna be shouting about that. I'm gonna drop a link in our little chat here, but I'm also gonna be advertising it quite a bit on my page and in other places. So yeah, I don't the link I don't have on me right now, so I will drop that in the comments just as soon as we shut down here. But I would love to see you there, because the heart and soul of it is this, that there is a bottom line to all of this. I want to embrace, I don't want to shy away from the fact that there's a bottom line to everything, because if I do, I'm not going to have a business, right? I mean, if you have a business, that's where we all get to at some point. If we're so super shy that we never ask for the sale, chances are some stuff's going to happen that isn't very good to our businesses. You and we're unemployable. It is 1:52 Central Standard Time on a Thursday, March 28th, and I am hanging out here talking to you guys. You know what I mean? Most people are 9 to 5 in it. I'm unemployable. That is why I'm here. And so learning how to ask for the sale in a way that doesn't conflict with my principles, yes. Every time she gives this live stream, I am going to be in the audience. And so I hope that you are too. She teaches some really fascinating stuff about human behavior and how you can really learn how to speak to somebody's language and see if you're a good fit or not. So great, super interesting stuff. Can't wait. Yeah, you are unemployable, Teresa. We've met several times, and I do know that. So very good, darlings. Well, I'll drop the sign up for that in here, and I'll be shouting about it for the next few days. So prepare to hear about it. And that's really it for today. No shows next week again. I'm out. I'll be popping in and doing some weird stuff here and there. But the following week we will pick right back up again. Same bot time, same bot channel. Hey, if you never want to miss another one of these, and I totally understand if you don't, go ahead and type live in the comments, and you will get that little reminder that comes out every Tuesday and Thursday just before the show to help you get there, because I want to see you here as much as I can, because I love you guys. That's it for today, and if I can get my mouse to work, I'll see you in a bot.